Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Dan Cummins. Good to see you on this final weekend of the month of May, or maybe you're watching it online a little later. Doesn't matter. I hope your family's staying healthy and well, and that you're remaining patient with each other as we work through this pandemic. I've got a very special guest on this Newsmakers program this weekend, and she's no stranger to News Channel 9 viewers or so many others around Central New York. It's Jennifer Sanders. Hi, Jen.
How are you?
I am well. Coming to us remote, of course, as everything has been for weeks and weeks and weeks now. Jennifer on Friday finished a fantastic 8-year career with News Channel 9, moving on now to Austin, Texas. And you're moving up in the world, girl. Austin's a big market, but it's home for you, and that's why you're going, right? Please tell me that's the only reason you're leaving us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm so excited to be home. As I've said time and time again, this is definitely bittersweet, but I'm excited to be closer to my family. I'm excited to be back in my home state. And you know what? Central New York is home to me. Someone called me a Texacusan, so I'm going to start using that to describe myself from here on out.
Well, to say we're going to miss you is an obvious understatement. More on that later in the program. But at the top of our show, I mentioned the pandemic and the ongoing. You're going to make a move from one big state to another, and a state that's handling this in some different ways than New York is, but it's going to remain the story for some time, no matter where you're working as a reporter, right?
Definitely, absolutely. You know, and it's been interesting for all journalists in this time to really have to find new ways and different ways and creative ways just to really do our job. I mean, we love the face-to-face and interacting with people and just interviewing them in person, but doing the Zoom thing, that's become our new normal. And I know down in Austin, it's the same way as well. But I think our responsibility as journalists remain the same wherever we're at, you know, getting people the answers they need, unemployment, just health related issues, and being able to really delve into that and help the community in that way has been a task for journalists during this time. And it's been a tough one at times, but it's also been rewarding to really help people during these uncertain times for sure.
Well, you know what's been rewarding for me for the past 5 years, the last 5 of the 8 years of your time with us, is I've had the opportunity to anchor alongside you on the morning news, and it has been a tremendous blessing in my life. And I know from all the viewers we've heard of since it was announced you're leaving, it's been a blessing to them as well. We're going to miss you.
Yes, and you know I'm going to miss you so much, Dan. You already know that. We won't go down that road just yet. We'll talk about that later in the show, but I just thank you, you know, for your mentorship and just being a true legacy at that station at News Channel 9. You have been a blessing to so many, and sometimes I don't know if you realize that, but you definitely have. And I'll miss the station. I'll miss the viewers. You mentioned the viewers, and they have embraced me. They have loved me, and there's so many stories still to tell in Central New York.
Well, speaking of the legacy that you have already left at News Channel 9, let's talk about some of the stories that you have told in depth. And I want to start by taking, Greg, a quick look at a little clip of a program you produced on the end of the 15th Ward that won an Edward R. Murrow Award for the story it told. Let's take a look at a clip of that.
I'm Jennifer Sanders. Thank you so much for joining me for this special edition of Hidden History. Imagine living in a close-knit neighborhood, reflective of your culture and your values, and then governmental decisions lead to the decimation of your entire neighborhood. Well, this is what happened to a very close-knit community near downtown Syracuse called the 15th Ward. Right now, we'll journey back 60 years ago to hear their emotional and their life-altering stories.
Years ago, they called the districts, now they call them wards.
And for the next half hour, viewers of this program, and I hope you're one of them, were treated to an in-depth look at what the original construction of Route 81 meant to that 15th Ward in the city of Syracuse. And the people who judge awards nationally decided this was one of the best television documentaries in America last year. Jennifer, why did you know in your heart that you needed to tell this story at this time?
That's a great question. So for me, when I did stories with the elders of the community, and when I say elders, I mean, the people in the African American community who have lived there, who are from, Syracuse. And they had always mentioned the ward. I always heard that. They mentioned the ward, the 15th ward, and I wanted to know, what is this place? And so I went to Onondaga Historical Association. I absolutely love OHA. I mean, I feel like I lived there for several months just researching and really delving deep into some issues that our city deals with. But I researched that and I said, I know I can't tell this story in 2 minutes. And fortunately, we have the platform of Hidden History that we run January and February. And it's a 22-minute long platform. And so I felt like it was a perfect opportunity for me to really expand and share that story. And I know that Sean Kearse, he's done a phenomenal job telling the story, in print. And I felt like, okay, now it's time to put some video to this and really show the decimation of this community and how it affected people who lived there, but how they rebound from that. And they were so resilient and so strong. And now many of them, they lived in the projects, but they own homes now. And it's just amazing to see how they really made their way out of that situation.
And having researched it and told that story so well, what is the takeaway that we need to have with us as they reconsider the reconstruction of Route 81 going forward?
It's just really education. I think that people need to remain educated on key issues that are affecting our communities. I think sometimes, maybe we listen to the news, and yes, we give all the information that people need to know. However, it's just important to go to those meetings, to go to those listening sessions, and really talk to the key figures who are making the decisions so that people's voices can be heard. And I think for me, I don't want history to repeat itself. I wouldn't want a community to be, again, decimated and people forced out and having to live in conditions that they don't want to live in. But I think it's just important. And I tell people who live in that area, know your history, know what happened here so that it won't repeat itself. And so that you can also just be a change as we continue the conversations about 81.
We're going to continue this conversation with Jennifer Sanders when we take a break. She's my special guest on Newsmakers. We'll be right back. We're good, I think. We're back on Newsmakers, and as David Letterman might say on his Netflix show, now my next guest needs no introduction. She sure doesn't to all of us. Jennifer Sanders, who has just recently concluded an amazing 8-year run with us here at News Channel 9. We can't believe she's headed to Austin, Texas, and yet so she is, but not before she left a wonderful legacy of reporting here, the kind of depth that we wish we did all the time, and we're going to do more of it thanks to your example. This was a book, Jennifer. I'm talking about the Syracuse 8. It's a book that very few people had the chance to read or didn't take the opportunity to read. You turned it into another one of your half-hour documentaries that was an award winner. This was a story about a football team and a football program at Syracuse University that did not do right by several of its African-American players. Tell us about the genesis of this story and why it was so important that these young men did what they did back in the 1960s.
Absolutely. And, I try to think, how did I get my hands? I don't even think I had read the book yet, but I had heard about the Syracuse 8, through my stories that I did at Syracuse University. And so I did a little research and I said, it would be great if I could at least get in touch with 4 or 5 of these gentlemen, and I was able to do that. And the funny thing is, one of them actually called me. He heard that I was leaving, and we kept in touch, and we kept a great relationship. But for me, I think at that time, it's not always to speak out when you're being wronged. And the fact that these men were able to do that, and they were able to express so eloquently how they felt, I actually have the document with me, but it was a 200-page document about the list of demands they had and what they wanted the university to do to rectify the wrongs that they felt that they had endured. And so I think it was just amazing what they did, because it really laid a solid foundation for players of color around the country, athletes of color around the country. And they did really groundbreaking work in their fight for justice, for sure.
All right, let's take a look at a clip of hidden history, Greg, a piece of history hidden no longer, thanks to Jennifer's reporting.
I'm Jennifer Sanders, and welcome to this edition of Hidden History. They're known as living legends, a group of Syracuse University football players who sacrificed almost everything they had in the name of equality. Greg Allen, John Lobin, Clarence Bucky McGill, Dwayne L. Walker, Ronald Womack, and Al Newton, now known as Alif Muhammad, all of them changing the course of history, not only in Syracuse, but around the nation.
We did this back in the 70s. We were blackballed, blacklisted back then. Why do we have to ask for things that you should just normally just get?
It was quite a contentious atmosphere. We didn't have many allies.
If we continued the boycott, our opportunities in the NFL would be greatly diminished.
What we were doing was trying to make Syracuse University a better place.
Everything I do and have done was for those I chose to reach back, grab, and bring along.
It's a story of courage, the game of football, and the journey to truth. This is a story of the Syracuse 8.
And once again, if you haven't watched it, boy, take advantage, go online and see it. Because, Jen, what those courageous men did back then did not only change things at SU, but shook up college football from coast to coast, didn't it?
It absolutely did. It absolutely did. And I like that you use the word courageous, because that's exactly who they are. They really are courageous players in Syracuse University's history. And if you go to the Dome, you see a complete display case with just the acts that they did, their jerseys and all of that. And if you watch the documentary, you can hear and still feel the emotion. You'll see the tears from the players about what they had to endure. And I think the fact that, years later, again, the university did recognize what they did, and they really rectified that, and they brought them out on the field, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful reunion. So, and their love for Syracuse Orange certainly runs deep despite everything that happened to them. So it's a beautiful, beautiful story.
It is, it was, and you know what struck me though, as I saw and heard you produce that special, and then we see what had happened just last year at SU, and I know you taught up at Syracuse University while you were with us with the Not Again SU movement, that all these years later, there is still an inequality and an approach to people of color that is not quite hitting the mark even to this very day, yes?
Yeah, and that's, it's a great point. And I talked to some of my students, because some of them were on the forefront of the protests that happened at Syracuse University last semester. And I talked to them and I said, you all really need to watch this documentary and watch how, and read the book, just learn about the Syracuse 8 and look at how they approached the inequality that they faced. And I think that you could really take some notes and learn some lessons from that, and really help you in your fight towards justice against people of color, for people of color.
I'm going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion with Jennifer Sanders on some of the solutions-based reporting she did when it comes to fighting the violence problem in our community here, Victory Over Violence series, when our conversation continues right after this. Back on Newsmakers with a woman I was proud to call my partner in crime here. Weekday mornings on the morning news for 5 years. Jennifer Sanders now on her way to Austin, Texas to continue her stellar broadcasting career. God, we're going to miss her. But we're here. You're here for another few minutes with us on TV, Jen.
Yes.
Some of the solutions-based reporting that you brought to Central New York while you were with us involved a series of reports called Victory Over Violence. As we take a look at a slight montage of B-roll from the several points you did, you made it a point to talk to people about not just the problem of well-established violence, but individuals and groups who found a way to overcome it, right?
Exactly. And that was my purpose in all of this, was focus on the victory, not the violence. You know, the victory, them being victorious over the violent situations that they've had to endure in their communities, in their homes. Sometimes I don't think that people realize just how bad some others might have it. But I also think that they don't realize just how good certain communities are. And so for me, you know, just growing up as a young Black girl, I saw one person on television, one person who looked like me. The rest of the people who looked like me on TV, they were in handcuffs, they were on mugshots, and they were in just bad situations. And I think people don't know how that can affect Black mental health, how that can affect just how people see themselves, you know, by what they see on the media. So I wanted to make it a point to really focus on the good in marginalized communities and communities that maybe haven't gotten a good rap, or communities who felt like they were silenced from the mass media, and really showcase the good that was going on there. And yes, they had issues, but this is how they overcame them, and this is how now they're thriving.
And in all of this, Jen, the Victory Over Violence series not only shone the light on the solutions, but it also, I think, gave all of the rest of us, if you will, a much broader, deeper, and eye-opening look at some of what, well, it's inherent racism as it is. It's endemic to the society. It's almost like hardwired into the broader population that we don't see what we need to see until someone like you shows us.
And yeah, and you know, for me, even doing these stories and talking to these folks just behind the camera, and just the community work that I've done, specifically on the South Side, hearing and seeing what people go through and grow through, and you know, how they've made it through these situations and really have become examples to me and to other people in the community. And sometimes I feel like they don't get the shine that they deserve. So I hope that I was able to just shine a light on them and really showcase the good that they're doing. And one thing that stands out to me, I did a story with Indaria Jones. She is the founder of the Creators Lounge. And, you know, I think it aired on a Friday, but I got so many messages on LinkedIn, and she really brings together just young entrepreneurs, specifically from the South Side. She's from there too. And she helps them develop their business, develop their ideas. I got a lot of messages on LinkedIn just about her business and about the great things that she was doing in the community. People had no idea that that was going on. And that to me is the highest compliment as a journalist, when you can really educate and enlighten people and really show them the good that's going on in their city.
And as you now leave us for Austin, can you leave us with perhaps a thought or two about this community that you've served so well for the past 8 years, and maybe some of the challenges that you would lay out for us, not only reporting news going forward, but in living together going forward? What can you tell us?
Yeah, you know, I think a big, and I'll start with the challenge first. I think that I know this is a market where people come and they stay for 2 years. I know that because I thought that I was going to be one of those people, and it turned out I wasn't, and I'm so grateful for that. But I think that it's important to really be involved in your community. You don't want to just come and do stories for a newscast. You want to really learn the issues that people are dealing with so that you can help them through those issues by telling the story. So I think that journalists, no matter how long or short they're here, just to really get involved and really to hear and feel the pulse of the community so that their stories can reflect that. In terms of Central New York, I tell everyone this place is so full of history. I don't know if people realize that. And I love history, and I love it even more since moving here. Like I said, I have a list of stories. Even with the 15th Ward, when I did that, I said, oh, I have my next documentary planned, and it was going to be about the Jewish community who lived in the ward prior to the African-American community living there. And there's just so many different stories that I think that we can share about the history and about how people overcame the challenges, and to show how far they come. Because sometimes I don't think that we realize, like, okay, you know, we've come a long way, and yeah, we hear about the poverty and the violence, but we've come a long way, and we have to continue to just elevate ourselves and learn from our history so that we can move forward in a more positive direction.
Yeah, and one of the things you mentioned about community involvement, I think people who have just watched you on TV for all these years, and that's all they've seen of you, don't realize a fraction of what you have done in this community as a mentor, as a member of so many nonprofits. From the day you stepped into town, you got right into the community life, didn't you?
And it's been amazing, and it's been more of a rewarding experience for me than I think that it's been for the organizations I've been involved in, especially because I've seen how giving the Central New York community is. I mean, it's just phenomenal. It blows my mind, and just how passionate people are about various issues, and how passionate they are about helping those who can't really help themselves. So it has been just an honor and a privilege to even be involved with the organizations I've been involved with. Beer House, YWCA, Gifford Foundation, they really truly help this community in so many different ways, and it's been just an honor being a part of those organizations.
Well, it's been an honor working with you. We're going to take our final break and come back with a final word with Jennifer Sanders right after this. Back with Jennifer Sanders. Jen, I'm not sure on Zooms if you can always see everything that's on the air, but we're going to roll a few pictures of the happy moments at News Channel 9. And as we do, I'd like you to reflect on your years here. This one says, Happy Friday. The thing is the smile on your face, and there you are with school kids. A smile never left your face, and you made that so infectious for the rest of us.
Yes, I mean, my time at News Channel 9, I have grown so much as a journalist, so much. I remember coming here as the weekend reporter and just, you know, struggling to make sure that I made slot and got my package in on time. And then from there to go on to tell, oh, look, there's us, to go on to tell stories that last for, 30 minutes, telling documentaries that have won awards. I never in my wildest dreams would I even realize that I would be capable of doing some of the things that I've done at News Channel 9. And I think that I learned my potential at News Channel 9. I learned my potential in Central New York. And for that, I will be forever grateful. And that's why I say that I'm a Texan, but I'm a Syracusan as well. So a Texacusan, I love that term that someone gave to me. I really, really, really feel like that deep in my heart.
Well, you have shown us our potential, Jennifer, and if I can close with a graphic that Jeff Mercer produced, it was Best Friends Day, National Best Friends Day, and he decided that we were, and I can tell you we will always be. We will miss you greatly. Jennifer, best of everything, and to you and your mom and dad in Texas, we love you, we miss you, and we'll talk soon.
We will. Love you all too.